The reopening measures are slowly taking place amid the coronavirus pandemic. Malls and restaurants are working again, and factories move more and more of their personnel back into the offices. However, that doesn't mean that people won't get sick anymore. On the contrary, there are now many more chances of spreading the virus even farther. To protect the employees and clients of your business, we developed ThermoControl screening stations. It is a quick and safe solution. ThermoControl measures temperature at a distance of 25 centimeters. The device is autonomous. It does not require an additional employee to conduct temperature measurements or log the results. It can measure and even recognize masked faces. All of the results are logged automatically and stored in the database. You can use the station to ensure your clients and employees access to your building automatically.
John Smith, Robot.
The station can issue entrance passes and grant access to the building after it measured the person's temperature. If the visitor's temperature is high, a notification will be sent and a potential carrier of the virus can't access the building. ThermoControl can send SMS and messenger notifications, as well as notifications over email. Temperature measurement technologies allow businesses to ensure the safety of people and potentially save lives all over the world.
All right, folks, good afternoon, and it is that time of the week. And it's not only that time of the week, it is also Christmas week. I hope you are having a wonderful holiday week so far, leading up to Friday, Christmas Day. I don't know about you, but I'm a big Christmas Day kind of guy. This is Anthony Weeks. I am the executive producer and host of the Marketplace show Reset and JumpStart, broadcasting live on WSDX 970 AM, broadcasting live on the Callaloo Network, broadcasting live on JumpStart TV, and broadcasting on all major social media, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and others as well. And then we're rebroadcast on Tempo Television on Verizon, Fios, and Time Warner Cable throughout the Caribbean, the United States, and South America. And we're also live on our sister Spanish station, La Mega Mundial, as well. So welcome to the program. We have a great show lineup for you this afternoon. And again, Merry Christmas. Let me bring in my colleague, Carolyn and Linda. Ladies, how are you doing today?
Oh, it's been a busy morning.
Such a busy morning. You know, in basketball, they call it a hat trick when you pull off something that's really phenomenal and really surprising. And Linda and I just finished doing that in the last 60 minutes. So we're just going to tell you that.
Bravo, bravo.
You know, sometimes
bravo.
you have to do this, Anthony.
I know.
Oh, yes.
So I'll try that. Yeah, that's right. There it is. Sometimes it just feels good. Yes, we did. And it's been a really blessed morning. So we appreciate the opportunities that were afforded to us this morning. We had to turn on a dime and we met the challenge.
Congratulations.
Yes. And then we had the better part of our day, and that is to sit and have some conversation with you all.
That's it.
Fantastic. Well, as you can see, I'm not in my normal studio. Mm-hmm. I'm on location, and I'm broadcasting live from the Cane Roots Art Gallery here on the beautiful island of St. Croix in historic downtown Christiansted, St. Croix. And with me is the owner of the art gallery, Sonia Nohar Dean. She is from the New York Tri-State area as well. She relocated to St. Croix. And last week was her grand opening. And so we figured let's continue the good work she's doing and continue to get the word out that she's here. So Sonia, you want to say anything real quickly before you go? Because I know you.
I just wanted to say welcome. It's a pleasure to have you be part of my home, Cane Roots, and enjoy it. And one day I'd like to have you visit and actually just go on the website to see what we have in this particular exhibit, which is called Women Alone by the artist Nyaris. And there's also my private collection that's also available online.
Fantastic.
Outstanding.
Happy great show and happy holiday.
Wonderful. Before you go, Can we understand where the name Cane Root came from? The art?
Cane Roots comes from a tribute. We have all, in the diaspora, we have all come here through the industry of sugarcane. So in that particular industry, we have built up a wealth for a particular capital. So we have been used for that. And therefore, in the paying of the tribute, we've done that. So now we can create our own industries through being the descendants of the cane fields.
Wow.
Wow, that's so meaningful. We
It is.
appreciate meaningful names so that that legacy can be told in a simplistic couple of words, but have the depth behind it. So thank you for that.
Thank you for sharing that.
Happy holidays to you both. And I look forward to chatting with you again.
Thank you very
Forward
much.
to visit.
right.
Thank
All
you.
yours, Anthony.
Thank you, Sonia.
You're
All
welcome.
right, beautiful. All right, ladies, so Merry Christmas. I'm going to say Merry Christmas because today is the last show before Christmas on Friday. And so I'm excited about Christmas. It's my favorite time of the year. And you guys look wonderful. And I hope you have great plans as well and to stay safe as well. So today, I know that we don't have a guest for your segment. What are we going to talk about today, guys?
You know, Anthony, not having a guest, well, of course, we love all the guests we've had on, but we really feel like it is time for us to really bring some things to the attention that we've been talking about. We've been tasked with handling largely the health segment, and we're noticing some alarming things, Linda and I. And in talking with you, we just wanted to spend a little bit of time with our listeners and viewers, helping them really understand what we can do in very practical ways to keep ourselves safe.
That's fantastic. If it looks kind of weird, I'm off to the what is it, my left or your right, is because we have a guest coming in. She is a fellow Virgin Islander, but she is a filmmaker, and she is the production supervisor for Tyler Perry Studios.
Wow.
And
That's
so
exciting.
so I'm looking forward to having that conversation with her, and so she'll be joining us at the bottom of the hour. So just FYI.
We all get some very interesting individuals on this program, and we hope that, we get some listeners and viewers who send us comments and questions, because I know our guests are eager to support and to help. It reminds me of our last guest who agreed to provide free resume services.
Yeah.
And, they can send an email to us and we will make sure it gets to him at info@Orange Wall Enterprises. So if you need services related to your career, namely right now, really getting your credentials, your paperwork in such a state, having someone expertise review it, we provide that resource through our network. And he provided us with some great tips and tools on our last show, the R's. Man, we felt like everything was an R. We couldn't.
Everything was, and we just kept coming up with more R's that was going on.
It was very edifying. I learned a lot. It was motivational. A lot of people really responded, comments. I don't know if you saw the comments, some really good comments. And so occasionally what we can do, there's a lot of moving parts here. So every so often I can share the post, if you will, when they do post on the show.
That would be terrific. We just appreciate this platform. And, when Carolyn and I started out, we started out with a conversation with you, Anthony, and your vision around JumpStart, being able to bring various businesses and nonprofits and governments into this private partner, public partnership that would, in fact, address systemically and supportive as a community the issues pertaining to COVID and the response, so that we could get the economies reset, jump-started, and get people back to not only work, but back to a life that seemed familiar. It's no longer going to be the same, but at least have some familiarity. And
absolutely.
Yes, through this process, we have come to appreciate what we learned with some of our guests, to look at the glass half full. Remember when we talked about the difference between data informed and data warehousing, and how we use data to make viable decisions, and that we're all now looking at data on a daily basis. That is the number of COVID cases in the United States, and the more unfortunate number, the number of deaths. And we are continuing to see this rise. So Carolyn and I thought we would just have a little fireside chat with all of our listeners and viewers, and just do some reminders, some tips, some conversation, talk about our own way that we handle things, and just give a nugget of truth again. We got to, this is a forever reminding lesson on how to remain as safe as possible and be as vigilant as possible in the normal routines of your life against the spread of COVID-19.
Right. And Anthony, when we started to do this show, now we've reminded the listeners and viewers that we are right outside Washington, D.C. We're literally about 8 minutes away from the D.C. line, the Washington, D.C. line. So we're right next to the nation's capital. And we're in this Maryland, D.C., Virginia, or D.C., Maryland, Virginia, the DMV. This is where we're located. So we're a hotbed of activity. Our news is the national news. But just to talk about Prince George's County, which is where our business is domiciled and where we are both residents, when we first started talking, COVID was just in its infancy, if you will. And unfortunately, as of yesterday, the Johns Hopkins dashboard of COVID indicated that we were at 50,733 confirmed cases just in our county. As of today, it is now 51,136, and more than 1,011 Prince Georgians have died, and more than 5,600 Marylanders. That's frightening. And this big surge, just a month ago, in the last 4 weeks, we've added on about 14,000 more confirmed cases, and there's been a significant bump since right after the Thanksgiving holiday. And that's what made us think, if we could give a word to the wise now, because we understand that our area, our region has decided no large gatherings, and everybody got that information. They started meeting in smaller groups. And then that's when we learned that the spread is rampant with these small groups. And Linda, you were nodding, you were going to speak to that.
I mean, you're spot on, and the numbers become something that we get normal to hear, and we don't internalize it. We even sometimes push it away as insignificant to what's happening in our lives. But it's that little number that means a very big thing as it relates to how you proceed and go about your life. So it's true. We have to look at how do we have our family dynamics, because Carolyn, as you just said, it's the smaller numbers where we have learned from the national experts that we're seeing this rise and this tick because families are getting together, and those families are unfortunately affecting each other and becoming infected through COVID because they're dropping their guard even amongst themselves.
Exactly.
Is it because human beings by nature are, I want to use the word that comes to mind, a lot of us are not as disciplined as others, right?
Of course.
Or not like being told what to do.
Anthony, it's interesting. I've thought about that question a million times over. Why is it that some countries are experiencing a decline and mitigation strategies that are working, and why others are not? We've had this conversation before. I do believe that without it being punitive in that way, that it's actually something that's a positive word, but has having a negative result. We're very resilient. We're very adaptable to the conditions and the climate in which we live. And therefore, we're able to really normalize even the tragedies of life as normal. So in that, you drop your guard. I've walked into places most recently, had full conversations, walked out, got into my car and realized, A, I'd forgotten to put my mask on. B, no one said anything. C, I was breaking the ordinances of Maryland. And D, I'm now in a panic because I'm thinking, oh my, the recognition hit me that I walked out into the elements, into the public without my masks on. And really, it was.
By the way, I'm guilty of doing that every so often myself. And so it's not that I'm being deliberate. You're moving at such a speed,
Right.
and only when you find that you're out the door, you're like, oh shoot, I forgot my mask.
Right.
You
And
know?
then I think to both of your point, I think that we confuse intention with the reality. If we don't intend to do harm, for instance, when we feel like, for instance, these groups that are getting together, family groups that are getting together, maybe you used to have 30, 40 people at your home enjoying the festive times, and you've decided, no, we're going to just cut it down to just the 7 of us. But your intention is to do no harm. But the reality is, if you have young people and the elderly and young people who may be asymptomatic because their immune systems work beautifully and they have suppressed any symptoms of the virus, and you've got older persons with health issues that are more likely to be predisposed to catch it, that intention was never to harm grandma, granddad, or either mom or dad. But the reality is you can accidentally. So the idea of mask wearing when we're around our relatives seem foreign, and most people don't want to do it. They simply don't want to do it.
Now, I want to give a little bit of a pushback on the word of resilience, because I hear that word banter a lot, right? How resilient we are. Back in 1918, the society that we are today, in terms of technological advancement, right? Innovation, right? How we've evolved. I've heard of similar behavior pattern and attitude that you see today. It was the same attitude back in 1918.
Interesting.
Now, more people died from the Spanish flu pandemic, right? Because we didn't have the technology or the science that exists today. We didn't have that. But I would say that I would give more credit to the folks back in 1918 as being more resilient because they didn't have what we have today to mitigate the extent of casualty, loss of life, number of cases, okay? I mean, we have the benefit of history, learning from the 1918, as well as the advancement of society and all of the things that we know today that they didn't have. And so the fact that they survived without it, and we are now struggling with all the bells and whistles and all the technology, all science, I kind of like wonder what that word resilient really means.
Well, and so Anthony, granted, they had so much less, but with the Industrial Revolution and the way foods went from something that was literally farm to table and became industrialized, and now the way we eat that has caused so many problems, the way we live our lives much more sedentary than those people. I dare to say that they may have been healthier to start with. We have so many more comorbidities that we learned from having our wonderful pharmacists and our cardiologists on, that this opportunistic disease is going to pounce on what you have. So I think we may physically be weaker than they were, and we need these extra bells and whistles just to keep us on an even keel, because that disease is coming after our illnesses.
Go, Dr. Howard. Howell.
I'm just, no, I am just.
That was really awesome. And you know what? That just was a light bulb moment for me, because it is almost as if we're comparing ourselves to a time where there wasn't that technology to where we have technology. But you're absolutely right. Our health status was completely changed and has changed. So therefore, we are, by evolution, if you will, and the impact of our economy and the advancements, created an unhealthier population that's been affected. That's an interesting study at that point. So how do we deal with that? What are some of the tips and some of the tools even now still?
Well, one thing, and I just want to say, wear masks. And that's not because when you and I came together and started a business, it was in personal protective equipment. I think that mask wearing, I just naturally, we teach people to cover their mouth when they sneeze or cough. So to wear a mask, but I think we need to get a little bit deeper. Wear clean mask.
Yes.
I understand that there was a shortage in the spring and they told everybody to get these cloth masks. But the cloth masks that I see people wheeling out that they've had stuck in their glove compartments in their car that they whisk out and that thing has maybe not been laundered in a month or so, I say toss that thing and get a disposable. It's like a handkerchief versus a Kleenex. Give me Kleenex.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
a good point, because what happens is individuals have to understand that there is now availability. There are places that when you walk in, they will actually give you a free mask. The thing that we have to make sure that is that everyone understands the science behind it, and they need to do the research for themselves and really care what's the science behind maintaining an ability, a shield between any outward cough or sneeze or even breathing of any significance, the particles that could travel a certain distance before they drop, that then could infect other individuals. Outside of eating, outside of sleeping, outside of being with yourself, you need a mask on. And you need a mask that has the protective layers somewhere in the 3-ply.
Very
and
good.
You have to make sure it's an authentic 3-ply so that you have the protection required. That science is built into that type of product. Or the KN95s, the authentic KN95s, which simply means that 95% of the particles are retained and not spread. And the K is just an indication of which country it's made. And if you're able to get N95, the 95 means the same thing. And the N simply means that it's a US based manufactured product. And so I think that the Food and Drug Administration and the CDC, Google it. They have remarkable depth of information that can get you into the full knowledge. I also think that making sure that you wash your hands. Now, sometimes we think about this, and I'm telling you, we all tell our children, wash your hands before dinner. Wash your hands. Keep your hands out your face. We're talking now, this is life or death.
But how basic is that, though? I mean, how basic is wear your mask and wash your hands? Okay, I'm gonna delete that. What I really want to say, right?
I know.
But again, it goes back to what I said: the lack of discipline and not want to be told what to do. That defiance that always exists. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And also that's a byproduct of this wonderful modern age. I remember the first time I ever went through a drive-through window to get food. When I drove through a drive-through window, well, at that point, there's no washing my hands. If I didn't have wipes in my car, I was going to be eating my food on the run. And as restaurants and fast food has popped up everywhere, the idea of sitting down for meal time has become almost obsolete. You have to make an appointment or a schedule for that because we eat on the run, we eat on the drive, we eat on the ride.
Absolutely.
So then the hand washing became, that's something we stopped doing a while back. We're no longer Leave It to Beaver and Ozzie and Harriet. We grab our food and eat it with the same hand that we paid for it with that credit card or cash.
Exactly.
And that is because our immune systems were strengthened. Hi, Terry.
Hi, Terry.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. We love your outfit.
Thank you.
She got on the Santa outfit there,
I'm ready. During this time of year, we go to the hospitals on Christmas Day and we deliver toys to the kids that are there on Christmas Day. And we even go down into the emergency room where they're waiting with their siblings. We give toys to those kids as well. So this is the best time of the year for me, making sure we're giving back. Yeah.
And that's really important to maintain some sense of community in that regard, because that's all part of the tools and tips for dealing with COVID as it relates to maintaining mental health, because these young people out here, they do need to know that life will continue on. This is not the way it's going to be forever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of conversation right now, obviously, about the vaccination.
Yes.
President-elect Biden just had the first of his protocol to emphasize the safety. We think we saw Vice President Pence. I'm not 100% convinced I saw what I saw. but I saw him get something in his arm quickly. So we're hoping that he too is joining the rank with the U.S. Surgeon General and others who are, in fact, really on the forefront of trying to convince and trying to demonstrate the efficacy and the safety of this particular, all the different drugs that have come out, Pfizer, Moderna,
yeah,
and others.
I think it's important at this point for us to remember a few things. One, the vaccination is here. The first responders are getting it. There's a few hiccups like any other vaccination. Some people will be allergic, right? So I think of all the 30,000 people that have had it, we had only one allergic reaction. I think that's huge.
That is huge.
Considering, right? So we need to, be at the forefront of it. A lot of the nursing homes, the persons are in the nursing homes, they're anxious to get it because they want to be with their loved ones. They want to be able to see their loved ones. And so, and it's that time of year. More people are flying. I'm surprised. Like millions of
surprised.
A lot.
I'm really surprised. The governor here is really adamant about persons from the UK being tested because of the strain that's going on there. Right. The federal government is not taking action to put some things in place. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. But we're here. We're here. We're tenacious people. We're steadfast, unwavering in our commitment to stay alive and to keep our family alive, right?
And we're here a year later because we began to hear about the reports in China a year ago in December 2019. And here we are in the year, and we've had some tremendous learnings. We frankly learned that the commonality and the common sense of washing your hands and keeping as clean a hand and forearms, frankly, as possible makes good sense. When you go into stores and they make available the Santa wipes to be able to wipe the baskets that you're using, or wipe your hands because you're going into the grocery store, then do it. They make it available. It takes a second, not even that long. When you go
walking with mine, I have mine in my bag. I'm walking with it in my bag.
Absolutely. You have all your tools, your gloves if you want to, your extra wipes if you want to, your extra hand sanitizer, things that are going to help us as a society continue on, whether we have the flu, pneumonia, any other communicable disease, as well as COVID. We are here now, and this is our practice. And I think that's the key, is that we are now turning what was once a massive headache for some, normal standard operating procedures for other, and they just expanded on it, and a whole new set of protocols for families and individuals and, whomever. We're here, and we need to make it a standard.
And embrace this time. I'm sorry, Terry, you're about to say something.
I was going to say it's very important. I'm still seeing, I walk the baby to daycare, and I go past the park, and I see some children in some communities still not wearing masks, and they're in groups, right? I see them with their teachers that don't have on masks, and they're in groups, and it's unfortunate that some people are just still not taking it seriously, and people are dying. And so if anyone's listening, all our audience is listening, please wear your mask, please stay safe, please keep your family safe. It's a good thing to do, so it's very important for us to remember that even if we're going to the park, we still should be wearing our masks. We're outside, but we still should have our mask on because we're interacting with other people. I think that's very important.
And teachers, for sure, we applaud every teacher that is doing what they can.
Yes.
Because they're so in charge. But let's think about this from a common sense. As parents, didn't we always have to deal with the common cold or something else that your kid came home from school? So we don't want it to be COVID. Now, so there's something that says it's common sense at this stage that's going to be a part of our societal survival. We know that more people are surviving and recovering from COVID, but we don't know the long-term effect on them at this stage. And we also don't know the long-term effect on any other strains that will migrate here to the United States of America and really push on our vaccination and the efficacy of it. I mean, it's just, we want everyone to thrive. And we're in a society that has given us a focus. 2020 was a year of focus. Universal focus on health, universal focus on common themes of the human race, universal focus on individual health responsibility.
It was also a year of pause. We had to pause and step back from a lot of things that we were just traditionally doing, like robots. almost. You're just getting up, going to work, and doing it again the next day. And this pause really made us look at mental illness too. It made us look at mental health. It made us look at individuals that we see every day in our workplace, and they're thriving and growing. And when you had to isolate, a lot of those people were alone. And so one of the things that I'll encourage everyone to do this season is to reach out to your loved ones, especially the ones that you believe are strong, because those are the ones that everyone push on and not pour back into, right?
Ooh, that's a good point.
So please reach out to them and let them know, because right now, it's a time where you're used to getting together and you can't. And so I encourage everyone listening, yes, wear your mask, be safe, take your spray with you, do what you need to do to be safe, but also reach out to your loved ones. Do your holiday calls. It's nothing like we had a Zoom party the other day. My vineyard, it was about 10 of us on the call, and we ended up staying on the call for like 3 hours. We had a liquid debrief.
Liquid debrief, okay.
And we had good conversation. And so I encourage everyone, use Zoom this holiday season. Even if you use it on your kitchen table, on your table when you're sitting down for dinner, all pray together, all eat together, play some games. We even had a Zoom call where we were doing bingo, and we had a karaoke Zoom call. So I encourage everyone, stay safe, but stay in touch, because we're social people.
We are absolutely social people. And also, go ahead, Anthony.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought. I just wanted
I was just going to say, embrace the time that you have. We've never had this much time to be still with ourselves. So this idea around self-care, it's how you look at it. Are you stuck? Are you safe? And you're like, oh, I have to be home by myself. Well, that may be true, but what other things can you do that will expand? What hobbies have you never been able to do? I'm crocheting blankets like crazy. I've decided I want to take virtual piano lessons. Take the time to help continue to grow you and to nurture you. Get your rest. And we've said wear your mask, eat well.
Yeah.
Just be tuned into telehealth and telemedicine. Stay
and
alert.
most importantly, I would add to that, Carolyn, is seek out resources to help you. If you're in need and you feel, particularly during this holiday season, that you just can't make it, call a friend.
That's right.
If you haven't heard from a friend in a long time, call them and check on them, on your family and your friends. Do it today. Do it tomorrow. Do it for the next couple of days, every day if you must, because this is a difficult season for people to think about the new year and what the past year has meant to them. So let's make sure that our relatives and our friends are safe. Don't second guess that you'll call them tomorrow.
That's right.
Exactly.
Today.
Yes. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ladies. In the studio with me, we're live on location for those who are wondering what this background we're in. I'm in the Cane Roots Art Gallery.
Yeah.
They opened up last week, and we had the owner on earlier just to say hi, but she was on the show last week, and she had a super successful opening last week. And we're really excited to be able to be back here to broadcast the show on location. And today, to continue the theme and creative economy and the potential for the U.S. Virgin Islands to emerge and to really develop and expand their industry in that space. We're broadcasting from an art gallery. And today, one of our special guests on the program, she is a friend, she's a colleague, she's a filmmaker, she is a producer. She's currently the production supervisor for Tyler Perry Studios. And so she's here in town from Atlanta. She's a beautiful spirit, beautiful person, love working with her. And so we're gonna have a great conversation. And then later on, we're gonna have a musician, actor, and model, also a Virgin Islander with Virgin Island heritage. His mom is from here. She moved to California, and so he created his own rock band. He's an actor, and he's a model. And so he's gonna be on the other half as well. Jessica is gonna join us. So basically the theme is, the arts, culture, and entertainment, the creative economy. And I'm going to announce today that starting, we'll do a soft launch next week, maybe. but definitely in the first of the year, we're kicking off our new entertainment news show called The Muse. And so that's going to be
All right, exciting.
weeknights on Tempo. And we're going to have all kinds of inspiring folks talking about art, movies, music, food. I mean, anything and everything sports to do with entertainment. And so I'm really excited about that.
Awesome. We are too.
That's very exciting. Congratulations.
I like
Thank
that.
you.
Creative
And,
economy. Okay.
and this is Patrice Adishabert.
Hi, Patrice. Welcome.
And these lovely ladies are starting from my right. We have Carolyn Howell up at in the upper corner. We have Terry Coaxum in the bottom corner, left corner, and we have Linda in the right corner.
Yeah.
Very nice to meet you.
Such a pleasure.
All right. So, ladies, I don't know if you're still going or you want to, end there. It's up to you. But we'll segue into the next part two of the first segment.
Well, we're going to head out and watch the show as we always do, live and on the website. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Great. Happy holidays.
Thank you so much. Everyone, stay safe and take care.
Fantastic. All right, folks, this is the Marketplace Reset and JumpStart TV. There's my beautiful colleague, Terry Coaxum from out of New York City. And she is the host, the co-host for our business segment. And what we're going to do is we're going to segue into our business segment, but we're going to do our quick break and we'll be right back.
All right.
I used to watch BET, MTV, VH1, now I watch Tempo. Soca, Calypso, Reggae Dance Hall. Don't stall, better get tuned in to the Tempo. Don't have cable, they got an app. Go to your app store, download that. Whether it's tourism, cuisine, or the social scenes, if it ain't Tempo, it's a rap. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. It's the latest in Caribbean news. Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too. Tempo. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. It's the latest in Caribbean news. Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too. Tempo.
Small business is a part of all of us each and every day. It's where we eat, it's where we shop, it's where we go to meet our friends and colleagues. In the wake of COVID-19, our small business community desperately needs our help. We must do our part to help our local communities to once again thrive. We must focus our attention on the small businesses that are the fabric of our great nation. ShareUp is a network of small business owners, their employees, and local consumers all working in unison to support each other. By creating incentives for consumers to think local before considering regional and national providers to fulfill their needs, we create local job opportunities and rebuild our communities. In addition, through AI-driven tools and machine learning, in just 5 minutes a day, ShareUp assists business owners in improving their social media presence, which enhances their visibility among consumers and levels the playing field so that local businesses can better compete with large, name-brand online competitors. When local businesses leverage the ShareUp platform, full-time and part-time employees, whether W-2 or 1099, are rewarded with a variety of voluntary perks and member benefit options. These include discounts on the things people do every day, access to low-cost, subscription-based telehealth and teletherapy, discounted prescription drug plans, connection to exclusive Prosper resources, and so much more. All for less than the cost of a cup of coffee each day. The JumpStart Marketplace is here to support the health and wellness of individual employees, as well as the health of businesses in the local communities in which we live and work. We're all in this together, so join us as we reinvigorate our local community and improve the physical and financial health of working America.
All right, folks, we are back. Welcome to the Marketplace Show Reset and JumpStart TV, broadcasting on WSCX 970 AM radio, broadcasting live on the Kalalu Network, broadcasting on JumpStart TV, broadcasting on La Mega Mundial, and broadcasting live on YouTube and multiple platforms on Facebook and rebroadcasting on Tempo Television throughout the Caribbean, the US, and parts of South America. I'm Anthony Weeks, and I'm joined by my colleague, Terry Coxum from out of New York. He's looking all festive and scantily looking over there with a Santa hat. How cold is it in New York right now?
About 43 degrees. Not very hot.
That's not cold. No.
Not very hot.
I was going to feel sorry for you, but no.
Virgin Islands right now. What's the weather in the Virgin Islands right now?
Do you really want to know? Do you really want to know, Pat?
I really do.
Okay. It's nice 86 degrees.
Mm-hmm. I'll say
that. With me, Terry, we have a very talented, you know what, last week we talked about the Women of the Year type of thing, the phenomenal year of the women. And we continue that theme and really to continue to uplift and celebrate women and their accomplishment. With me, I have Patrice Adishabert. She is a talented filmmaker, producer, and she is currently working with the Tyler Perry Studio as a production supervisor. Looking at her bio here, it says that she's an award-winning production veteran with almost 20 years of production experience in television, advertising, and interactive experimental media. A graduate of Howard University with a BA in television and film production, Patrice later returned to school and earned her master's in marketing from Strayer University. She is a creative and resourceful executive producer, formerly with Trix 3D team, where she was production leader and client liaison, utilizing her great instant creative savviness, relationship building skills to steer both the creative and technical teams through the concept of development, budgeting, production planning, and execution and wrapping. So welcome to the program, Patrice. What's going on? Everything good? Good to have you on the program. So looking forward to the conversation. So what brought you here? What brought you here? What's going on? Why are you in St. Croix? Why are you on the island?
Well, St. Croix is my second home. You know, I'm from St. Thomas originally.
Okay.
But, you know, my husband is from St. Croix. We have a lot of family here, so it's my second home. So we're wrapping things up with production. So I'm here soaking up some sun.
There you go. This person on the screen, she absolutely loves the Virgin Islands. We can't keep her away. Terry just loves the Virgin Islands, you know? But anyway, so congratulations on your continued success in film production. And now you're working with Tyler Perry at Tyler Perry Studio in Atlanta. What is that like? Working with Tyler Perry. Mr. Perry. Oh, excuse me, working with Mr. Perry.
It's awesome. I mean, it's not just really Mr. Perry, but the team. I mean, we have anywhere from 200 to 2,000 people, right, at the studio at any given time. And it's just an amazing experience. I remember going to visit and saying, I want to work there. And it came to fruition within a few months. I just stayed dedicated and made the right contacts and was persistent, and here I am.
Remember you when I came and I visited you guys, and you took me on a tour?
Yeah.
I said I wanted to see all the major studios in Atlanta. And we ended up in front of Tyler Perry's just magnificent entrance. Mm-hmm. And I was like a little kid. I was like, oh my God, look at this thing, you know? And, you know, and we didn't get to go in because at that point it had just opened, security was high. And are they doing public tours now? I mean,
no,
still
not with COVID.
Not with, well, okay, this was before COVID, but if COVID was not there, would you guys be doing tours?
It hasn't happened yet. It's
okay.
To come. Yeah.
Okay, to come. Okay, good. So
but there's a portion that is open to the public before the main gate where you can take pictures, and there's a video wall, and they're showing clips of the different shows. So that's kind of what we did, but I wasn't working there yet.
Right.
And upon doing that, I said to myself, I think I'm gonna be here pretty soon. And I was. Before that, I had done a small stint on a movie called Acrimony, but I was already working somewhere else full
now,
time.
That movie, oh my, have you seen that movie, Terry?
I have seen that movie. I have seen that movie.
Man, that thing had me on. I was like, no.
A lot of twists and turns.
Oh my God, that woman was, anyway.
Yeah.
didn't mean to digress it, but go ahead. Sorry.
My fellow Howard alumni, Taraji P. Henson, of course, starring in the movie. But I did a small stint, very small stint on that movie. I was working somewhere else full time. A friend of mine who was at Tyler Perry Studios said, "Hey, we need you. We're looking for people at the last minute to fill some roles." And I did. I jumped in. So that was my first, toe in the water at Tyler Perry Studios. And then I started full time recently, just January. And it's just been super busy ever since. Crazy busy.
You know, another Howard alum too that actually is in Greenleaf. A good friend of mine, Lynn. Lynn is a Howard alum as well. She graduated from Lynn Whitfield. Yeah. Do you get to
at a mansion owned by a Black billionaire, maybe about 10 minutes from my house?
Yes.
Right near New Birth Church.
Yep. Absolutely.
Now, her resume is quite impressive, Terry. Okay. I know we're talking about Tyler Perry right now, and he's really in his zone right now doing his thing. But when you look at her CV, okay, obviously we mentioned Tyler Perry Studio, we mentioned Trick 3D, but she was with a major advertising firm, BBDO Worldwide, doing production commercials as well. The XD agency, Turner Broadcasting System.
Turner, okay.
BET Network.
Okay.
WSB-TV and A+E networks. And then, of course, I think I'll stop right there because it's too many to mention.
You look so young. You must have started when you were 2.
Well, I actually really started at 16. I got my start in.
See, you're right. You're right.
The Virgin Islands, in St. Thomas, at WTJX Channel 12.
Oh, wow. Okay.
As member of Graffiti Street, and it was like the best experience ever. I actually didn't even plan to do it. I just went with a friend. They were auditioning.
Whatever. But whatever. You didn't know you were going to go there, and you wanted to do that.
I had no plan, but I always loved television. I used to watch the behind the scenes on HBO, how they put together special effects. But I didn't plan to audition. I just kind of went with my friend, did it, got the part, and it's been TV ever since.
Awesome.
Wow.
Awesome. But you know what? It's preparation too, and your tenacity. You're not just in the right place at the right time. You're planning it. You went to Tyler Perry Studio and you was like, you know what? I think I want to work here. And you made it happen, right? And the same thing when you were 16. So I just commend you on, really having a plan, staying, sticking with it and doing what you needed to do. And any of our listeners that's listening to Patrice, she's awesome. She's super awesome. She's done some amazing things. As Anthony said, this is the year of the woman. I look to see her doing even more projects, moving forward. But to all the audience that's listening on the marketplace and JumpStart TV, this is a true example of what you need to do to rise to the top. And so, Patrice did more than just put her footprints she really put her footprints on the moon. She's reaching higher than just dreaming. So thank you, Patrice, for being a perfect example of what we need to do to move forward.
Now we know Hollywood is big for movies and film projects. New York is they have a big film cultural scene there. But Atlanta, where you're located, is you guys are giving these other markets a run for their money.
Yeah,
Hollywood of the South, exactly. I used to live in New York, and I worked shortly at Lifetime Television. I worked for an entertainment attorney, a couple of things here and there, but I didn't like New York. It was just not for me. It was too big.
Could you imagine she just said that? Did you imagine she just said she did not like? Could you imagine?
I was in New York, but it wasn't for me personally. I was still an island girl at heart, and so I needed some of that a little bit. You know what I mean? So I didn't do the big city. I did it for a little while. I couldn't do LA. It was just too far, and so I ended up in Atlanta because it's close enough to home, like a 4-hour flight. And it's really coming up. It's coming up in the industry. There's tons of productions. It's the place to be right now.
Yeah.
Now, you're talking about New York. You're talking about the city, but there's 57 other counties outside of that.
For sure, upstate New York. But then the commute is so much, so that's why I just.
Even the Hudson Valley and Long Island. Those were, places that remind you, have a lot of land and a lot of great spaces for you to live a somewhat island life by the beach. There's other places, you know, we got something for everybody here in New York.
For sure.
Now, what is it like in this current environment to literally have the, you know, being in the film industry in Atlanta and trying to do that in this current environment, the pandemic environment?
And doing it as a woman, because you know how the industry is. I would be glad to hear that as well.
Yeah, and I saw the segment prior where you guys are talking about hand washing and just the simple things you have to do to stay healthy. I mean, I came in with my mask. You know, I entered with the mask, but I took it off for the camera. But I mean, just everywhere, it's, you know what I mean? Like, everyone has a different view on what they should or shouldn't do at this time. But you've got to be diligent because it's real. I mean, I've lost 2 family members because of COVID, one in England and one in New York. And so it's a very real thing. And at TPS, it's out there. If you watch ETV, you would have seen it. But Mr. Perry has a really good plan that he has implemented, in which we are testing twice a week. The first test is a nasal test. After that, we're doing the throat swab or nasal. And we are essentially living in a bubble. So we're really living and working on campus. So once you pass a couple of tests in the time period, then we literally move into campus with luggage. And we live about 300 to 400 people on campus in mobile homes that were set up specifically for this purpose. And then some of the cast would stay in the historic homes. And we live and work, and we're technically in a bubble with everyone who would have already tested negative. But on top of that, we're still practicing the social distancing, the hand washing, the sanitization. There's stations all over, and of course the mask wearing. So it's still
you're taking a lot of great precautions. Yeah,
it's still a lot of precautions being taken, even though we're technically all negative in the bubble.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want you to talk a little bit about the industry as a woman, because I'm sure there's some listeners out there that are looking to go into entertainment, to be a part of production, and are looking to you for a little bit of guidance on how do you make it work.
I mean, I think first of all, especially coming from a small island, I don't think I ever had like a small island mentality. Like, I never felt I'm a woman, so it's different. I never felt like, you know, I'm a Black woman, so it's different. I just felt like this is a thing I want to do so bad, I'm going to do it. And I think if you go in, you know, almost as a kid, you know, fearless, and you jump into that pool, you know, you're going to do it, because you can't just stay on the sidelines thinking about it.
That's right.
But I think it's several things, because I've always been a part of women's mentoring groups. Organization specific to women. So that has definitely helped to nurture some of what has helped me in my career. But definitely, I think it's making connections. It's super important. It's still a who you know industry.
That's right.
Referrals are huge, because anyone can look at a piece of paper or interview someone. That doesn't go very far in this industry, because we're so dependent on teamwork that we have to go based on referrals. Although I like your profile on LinkedIn and you look like you would be a great hire, honestly, a lot of it is still based on referrals. So having the connections are super important. Being part of industry organizations are very important. And you know, that helps you to get your foot in the door, but then you've got to stay in the door. So you've got to work really hard. You know, you have to be prepared to work long hours, to be practically on call sometimes. That's kind of just how it is, you know, especially once you're getting to a leadership position. Okay,
what we're going to do, we need to close out this segment, as you know, Terry, and we need to switch over to the other studio. Okay. And so I'll see our other guest, Stefan is in the studio right now. So let's close out this segment, and we'll continue with our conversation here with Patrice Adishabert, the film producer, our guest today on the program, and looking forward to being able to continue the dialogue here on the Marketplace Reset on JumpStart TV. I'm Anthony Weeks, and Terry will talk to you on the other side.
All right.